The emergency room was unusually quiet for Christmas Eve. No flashing lights, no gurneys being rushed down the hallway. Snow fell softly outside the hospital windows, blanketing the world in peaceful silence. Lucy Martin adjusted her scrub top and glanced at the clock. 11:32 p.m. The shift was nearly over. She thought about her small apartment, the microwave dinner waiting in the freezer, and the empty chair across from her kitchen table. Suddenly, the glass doors to the ER slid open with a soft whoosh. An elderly man shuffled in, wearing a threadbare coat and holding a weathered cane. His face was lined with age and hardship, but it was his eyes, haunted, distant, that made Lucy pause. "Sir, are you all right?" she asked, stepping toward him. "I'm fine," he said, his voice rough but steady. "Just needed to get out of the cold." Lucy smiled gently. "Why don't you sit for a bit? We've got fresh coffee." He hesitated, then nodded. As the man lowered himself into a chair, Lucy poured him a cup and sat down beside him. His hands trembled slightly as he wrapped them around the warm mug. "Do you have family?" she asked softly. He shook his head. "Had a wife once. She passed a few years ago. No kids. It's just me now." Lucy's heart clenched. "I'm sorry." The man shrugged. "Been worse. I served in Vietnam. Saw plenty of lonely nights out there, too." He stared into the distance, lost in memories. "It's funny, though. Holidays are harder than the war ever was." A comfortable silence settled between them. Lucy listened as he shared stories, bits and pieces of a life filled with bravery and loss. As midnight struck, the sound of distant church bells filled the air, signaling the arrival of Christmas Day. "Thank you," the man said quietly. "I haven't talked to anyone like this in a long time." Lucy touched his arm. "You're welcome anytime." The veteran gave a small smile and stood. "Merry Christmas, nurse." With that, he shuffled out the door and into the snowy night. The next morning, Lucy had just clocked out and was heading toward her car when she noticed a man in a sharp black suit waiting for her. His posture was stiff, his expression unreadable. "Miss Martin?" he asked, stepping forward. "Yes. My name is James Harper. I'm with the Harper Foundation." Lucy blinked. The Harper Foundation was one of the largest veteran assistance organizations in the country. "How can I help you?" James smiled. "Actually, it's more about how we can help you. The gentleman you spoke with last night, Colonel Thomas Harper, was my father." Lucy's eyes widened. I had no idea. My father doesn't often speak to strangers. You showed him kindness when he needed it most." James paused. "My father built the Harper Foundation to help veterans and healthcare workers. He wants to personally thank you for what you did and offer you a grant to continue your studies in nursing, fully paid." Lucy's breath caught. "Wait. What?" "Consider it a small gift," James said. "From one grateful family to you. My father's already waiting inside. He'd love to see you again." Tears welled up in Lucy's eyes as she followed James back into the hospital. The world around her seemed brighter, lighter somehow. Resolution inside, Colonel Harper stood waiting with a warm smile, holding a wrapped box. "Merry Christmas, Lucy," he said. "This time, let me give you a gift." Lucy realized, in that moment, how one act of kindness could change a life. Sometimes the greatest gifts don't come wrapped in ribbons. They're the connections we make when we least expect them.